Hello, we are live. And by we, I mean me and you watching. It is Wildcard Topic Wednesdays, and we're not calling it a lockdown lift up anymore. It's just basically the daily lift up, even though our freedoms really aren't fully restored yet. But anyway, the idea here is I'm going to pick a topic out of one of my books. I'm going to riff on it. I'm just going to riff. And if you have something to add to the conversation, I'm going to ask you to throw it in the comments and would love to hear your insights on whatever it is we're going to do. And of course, it makes sense to use my newest book, which is out and available, and it's called Take Back Your Weekends. Stress less, do more, be happier. And if you've been watching the lives, you're probably sick of hearing about it. But you know what? This is the thing. I think this book is exceptionally powerful. So I'm super excited. I know a lot of you have already ordered it. So yeah, that's really good. Okay, let's do a flip. Okay, now I'm cheating. I'm looking. Let me do a better flip. No. We're going to stop right there. Let's figure out what this is all about. Oh, I love it. Okay, so it's two of the solution. See how easy this book is to read? It's two of the solution activation principles. I have 5 in the book. So let's play with these. And the idea is, so solution activation is part of my, oh, awesome, Dan. Good to have you back from vacation. Yeah, or were you on vacation or was I on vacation? I've been back for 2 weeks. But I think you maybe were gone, which is awesome. Okay, so, which is, you know what, funny when we talk about vacation, the weekends. Hi, James. Great to have you here as well. All right, let's riff on these 2 solution activation principles. So the idea is this. Okay, good. We've got clarification. Dan was on vacation. And then I was on vacation before that. So look at us all relaxing. And by vacation, I mean moving houses, not a vacation. All right. So if you've been following along, you know I don't believe in solution first thinking. And the reason for that is because if we jump to solution first without exploring true situational awareness and self-awareness, which is essentially how am I responding to what's happening and what am I potentially making it harder to deal with, okay? So if we can unpack those 2, then finding the right solution for any of our personal development or professional development needs is so much easier. And this is the whole point of solution activation. But of course, when you write a book about finding, you know, how to solve problems and how to, eliminate stress and really tackle your never-ending to-do list, which I don't call a to-do list, I call a task circle in the book and in general in my life. Essentially, I can't give you the solution because the solution will change based on the situational awareness and the self-awareness. What I can do, however, though, is give you some guiding principles that can help make solution activation easier. And so the page that I have flipped to riff on has 2. So the first one is your second response is the priority. Get to it ASAP. Oh, Sarah, hi. Look at all these people who are coming today. I'm super excited. Mark, Greg, Sarah, and James, will you be completing you all? I don't know what that means, Al. You're going to have to clarify, James. You're going to have to clarify. So, second response is important because here's the thing. If we have had decades of reinforcing the exact same behavior, and then we make a decision and we say, okay, that's it. I'm never going to do X again. The reality is you will do X again because it's built into your DNA. It's who you are. It's how you show up. It's your instant response. So when it comes to personal development, what I like to look for is the second response. the one that we choose, and how quickly can we get there. And so if we were to take a barrier to performance, there are 31 listed in the book. So let's pull one up and I'll just pick a thing and tell you how this works out, how this shows up. Where are those barriers? Will you also be completing in your ALS Ice Bucket Challenge today or tomorrow? Oh, right. Were you serious about that, James? I couldn't, let me pull that up so people know what I'm talking about while I'm looking. I don't know. I need somebody to throw the ice on me. I have plans tomorrow night. Maybe they'll throw a bucket of ice on me. It'll be fun. But I could never find, oh, because you're on YouTube. That's where you're commenting from. Okay, I didn't find your comments the other day to follow up about that. Okay, so it's the list of different barriers. So let's look at this about, okay, catastrophizing is one of the first ones is the first one on this page. So let's use that as an example. So let's say you're someone who in your DNA, you have it built into your life that you catastrophize situations, meaning you see like an exaggerated devastation when something's just kind of like, So maybe it shows up like, oh my gosh, you wouldn't believe what just happened. So the way the second response works as a principle is as soon as you start knowing and recognizing like, oh, wait a second, I think I'm in catastrophization, then you can interrupt that pattern and pause and go, let me choose better words. So in the instance of catastrophization, better words is the answer, generally. And better storylines, etc. So you would just pause and choose differently. Let's say you have a tendency to, what's the word I'm looking for? Somebody give me an example. Something like, I always use worry as an example because it's the first one on the list, but inability to say no. Let's say you say yes to something, you get off the phone and you're like, oh, shoot, I meant to say no. Well, you can still say no. Call them back and say, you know what, upon further reflection, I think it would be best if somebody, comparison. Maybe you're comparing yourself as you're, doing the scrolling on Instagram or YouTube or LinkedIn, wherever. And instead of just sitting with that, I feel like crap because I'm, comparing myself to someone else. Stop the scroll, interrupt the comparison, and tell yourself a different story. You know what? Just because this person is excelling in this doesn't diminish anything from my ability to excel in the same thing or excel in something that I'm gifted in, and just stop the habit. Like for me, that is really important because, Sarah, I love this. Sarah's written, upon further reflection. Yeah, it's a really great phrase. Or it might make more sense if you did this or if somebody else took the reins or whatever. Really works. But the reason this came to be one of my core solution activation principles is because I would be like, okay, I want to, when I was working on my worry, I used to have a real habit of worrying. And I'd be like, I'm never going to worry again. And then I'd a day later be worrying about something and I'd be like, oh, shucks, there I am, I suck. And there was such a judgment in it. And then when I finally realized that maybe interrupting that little bit, if we can take it from worrying about 3 days to 2 days to 1 day to 3 hours to 10 minutes to 1 minute to I don't have that worry gene. Right? Like that's the idea. And that's the first principle that I've overturned in today's flip for a riff. Oh, maybe we should call it flip for a riff. Anyway, I digress. Okay, and this feeds perfectly into the second principle that I've flipped today, which is a slip does not mean you need to stop. And why this is so critical is because as we learn, as we develop, as we change our behaviors and our ingrained habits that we're not happy with and we just want to excel, right, and get better and better and better, we're going to run into times when we don't do a great job, when we are off, or we fail, or we just don't quite get it right. And the sooner we can accept that and be like, oh, you know what? Just because I did that doesn't mean I need to give up on the overall dream, right? How do I go to that next level if there aren't like little dips along the way? Like, nothing is a straight line, it's zigzag, zigging and zagging. And we got to be okay with that zigging and zagging. And so often people say to me, oh, I tried that. Or, oh, I tried, doing that. Or, oh, yeah, I couldn't, it didn't work for me. And I'm like, did it not work for you? Or did you not give it enough longevity or try? Or did you give up too soon on making it work for you? So just because we slip doesn't mean we need to stop. So critical. Open to your insights, ideas, thinking, comments. I will be okay. Oh, I'm reading. This is not comments. This is someone who's watching is sending me a text, which is great, but I will not read that on air because I'm. I think it's relevant to this conversation, but you can't see it. I can't pull it up. So that's awesome. Anyway, there's the riff for today, and maybe we'll call it from now on the flip and the riff. I like it. I like it. We're getting creative with these things. I hope. Oh, and you know what? Sarah's bringing up a great point. We can learn from our slips. 100%. And this is where the second response is the best, because if we can, really the whole purpose of self-awareness is to recognize what's happening inside of us as soon as we're about to do the thing that we're trying to stop doing, so that we can feel the sensation of worry, of catastrophization, of stressing out, of getting overwhelmed, of whatever it is. If we can feel that, then that's going to help us recognize it. And then we can, almost like a movie, watch ourselves go through this next part of oh, that's what happens. And that's where I feel I got out of sync. Right? So cool. The random riff show. I like it. I like it a lot. Because that's essentially what I'm doing. The lift riffed. No, wait. The lift up, riffed up. Riffed out. Anyway, now I'm trying too hard. I'll work on it. But that's what this is about. It's meant to be random. It's meant to be a little bit of Allison right here to help you through your afternoon lull. So grateful that you are here. Thank you for that. And please know, actually I had a couple of people ask me, do you do speaking or team training? And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I do. And I'm like, did you not know that? She's like, no, but I thought that would be a great thing. So it led to a really great opportunity. But I just want to be very clear. What I offer as a service is threefold. I do keynotes at conferences. So if you're part of a planning committee or are involved in an association, either a virtual or in-person conference, you can hire me to speak at that conference. The second thing I do is I go into companies and I work with their teams on teaching them how to be resilient. So very much based on the work and the frameworks that I share in this book, and on these frameworks. So I have a very set training program. So whereas the online stuff is riffing and whatever topic comes up and let's hang out and is not very structured or prepared, when I'm hired to speak, it is. Right? It's still LEG and it's still got my flavor, but it's a very specific piece of the puzzle that I offer. And then the last piece is the coaching. So individuals who are feeling like they just can't get out of the noise and they need somebody to help them sort of streamline their life and their business and really manage that piece, that's what I do. So I wanted to be really clear on that because apparently I have not been clear on that with some people. All right, Greg, what are you saying here? One of my biggest takeaways so far in the book is how the mind replaces the straightforwardness of tasks and creates complications and obstacles. Well, if you figured that out from my book, I'm super happy because that is one of my key foundational principles. And I'm super excited that you were reading the book and I saw your picture. I actually might use that picture as a like Instagram post. It's so good with your backyard and the notes. And yeah, it was really awesome. So I'm really glad you're enjoying the book. And thank you, Sarah. Keep on being awesome. You're amazing. Can't wait to get your new book. Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited about the book, and there's actually some pretty cool stuff going on in the background with some reviews that are coming out, and we're just waiting for the distribution in Canada to get fixed. It's a little bit slower than I want it to be, and when it is fixed, we're going full court press with the media and the bookstagrammers and all of that, and I'm just going to not worry about the fact that we're going into July because you know what? This is the perfect time for people to take time off and embrace this. If it's so simple at first glance, I always ask, what am I missing? Oh, okay. I want to know what you're referring to there. Is that about changing habits? Maybe. Maybe. I know I've got a 15-second delay. So I will wait for Dan to elaborate on that. You know, Dan's really good too at helping people not get or to heal from when they kind of got screwed over in their business from staff. I mean, I'm paraphrasing what he does, but it's very like, always looking for the layers of the onion. Yes, you are, and that's why, because you have that talent. Whereas someone like me who doesn't look for layers, right? Like I often will take things at face value, and that stung me in the past. It also keeps me out of a lot of the drama in the world. But it's something that I'm being more thoughtful of. I actually, oh, by the way, tomorrow, 2:00 p.m., you can register for free. I'm doing an interview with the Better Business Bureau of Western Ontario. And I actually think they were putting that nationally. So it's 20 minutes. It's the first of three-part series on Take Back Your Summers. And there's a post in my LinkedIn feed and on my Facebook feed that you can go and register for free. I hope you'll join us for that and be on live because that'll be really great. And thank you, Dan, for saying you love the topic and keep up the great work. I will keep going as long as you guys keep showing up. So thank you very much. This has been the Lift Up, Riff Off. Does that work? Lift Up, Riff Off? Lift Up for today, and I hope you have the absolute day. And I'm going to pause for 15 seconds so that I don't cut off the broadcast.